Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome back. I thank you again for joining me today. Well, yesterday I talked about the Jewish religious group in the Old Testament time or New Testament times called the Sadducees, and today I want to talk about a third group that were called the Essenes, which were they're not mentioned in the Bible at all, but they're mentioned by Flavius Josephus and Pliny the Elder and a few other people, and plus they got, like I said the other day, they got a claim to fame on something, and I just want to give a rundown on who they were, what they were, things like that, and I encourage you to check them out for yourself if you're interested in that. And they were. I'm going to read this to you here. It's just a little bit of scratching the surface, who they are, what they were. So, like I said, I encourage you, if you're interested, check them out for yourself. But anyways, I'm going to get started right here. Now, this was a Jewish sect with two branches. Some were celibate, refused marriage, and they adopted children. Others believed in marriage and procreation were needed if the group was to continue to survive. Their community was hierarchical, they were disciplined and structured. They looked forward to the coming Messiah. They were preoccupied with a heavenly Messiah that would usher in a heavenly kingdom. The New Testament doesn't mention them, but like I said, here's Philo of Alexandria, Josephus, and Pliny the Elder mentions them. And most scholars claim they succeeded from the Zadok priests. It's like the Pharisees and Sadducees said they was from the Zadok priesthood. Their claim to modern fame is the Dead Sea Scrolls, discovered back in the late 40s. So they were the authors of the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Dead Sea Scrolls are a great find of the 20th century, probably the greatest archaeological find, because they had like the temple scrolls, they had the copper scroll, they had basically all the like Old Testament writings, like they had and some of them are actually quite recently. Some fragments have been found today in some caves too, in the past 2-3 years or so. The Dead Sea Scrolls are estimated to be from 300 BCE to 100 CE. Every morning they took ritualistic baths, strict observance of the Sabbath, and believed in community. So you could call them in a way communist, but not the communists like communist Russia or anything. They were communal people, and along that they ate together after prayer, devoted themselves to charity, forbade the expression of anger. They studied the books of the elders, preserved secrets, and were mindful of the names of the angels kept in their sacred writings. So they believed in angels, unlike the Sadducees. They believed in the angels. They didn't do animal sacrifices. They forbade swearing oaths, did not engage in trading, and carried weapons only for protection. Some scholars believe John the Baptist may have been one, or at least associated with him when he was in the wilderness. Now, you might want to ask why the Essenes didn't, they were the third group. Why were they down by the Dead Sea and not up around Jerusalem, right around there? Well, there's a lot of debate on that, of course, too. One of them is when the Maccabees came into power, they the priest, king priest Simon Maccabees, basically leveled Jerusalem and tore down the old temple because it's so polluted, and rebuilt everything, restructured the landscape and everything. And the Essenes writings that we discovered, they talk about a wicked priest, and a lot of scholars believe the wicked priest was Simon, because he had total power. He had total say so. Total. Everybody was in agreement with him. If not, they were banished or put to death. But they didn't believe that, and they called him the wicked priest. And then they had somebody they called the teacher of righteousness. Now that they don't say name the name, they just said the teacher of righteousness, and we don't know who they are, who this person is. He must have been a spiritual leader of the time. And anyways, that's basically what the Essenes were. They were just a separatist religious sect that didn't go along with the other Jewish parties and their way of life. They thought they were wicked and evil, and they didn't need to do that. They believed that it was going to be the Messiah was going to come back and rebuild the true temple. And of course, that didn't come by. The Messiah didn't come back, or to them, the first coming. To us, is the second coming. He didn't come back, and they hid their manuscripts up in the caves, most likely because the Romans were coming down and they wanted to preserve their sacred writings the best they could, and they did. They hid them for roughly 2,000 years, close right around there. But anyways, that's what the Essenes are, and they're worth checking out. If you ever get online, have a book about them, anything, check them out for yourself. And comment below, let me know what you think about this group, and also feel free to watch my other videos, and also give me a big thumbs up, and hit that notification bell, and also subscribe. I'd appreciate that. And tomorrow I'm going to talk about a group, a Jewish religious group called the Karaites. And the Karaites is this group that's questionable when they first came about. Some people believe, some scholars suggest that they were like the offspring of the Sadducees, but I'll let you know tomorrow their information and if that's true or not. But anyways, that's all I want to say right now, and I thank you again for joining me. I really do. I appreciate it. And until we meet again, brothers and sisters, peace out and shalom.